What's up guys and welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be covering intermittent fasting, but before I start, I want to say I started off weighing in at around 78.5 kilos before day 1. So in the morning of day 1 I was 78.5 kilos. I want to say that I actually gained around 1+ kilo in the past 2 months, and I can attribute that to either one, taking creatine, and I gained a little bit of water weight. I've also been eating a little bit more freely, still been following the principles of low calorie dense foods. However, I've been eating some nonsense here and there as well. For the sake of the experiment, I'll be getting off creatine in order to see if I do lose water weight, and possibly get back on creatine thereafter. I'm doing that because I really want to see if creatine affects my weight, because when I'm competing, I might want to get off creatine in order to make weight. The reason why I wanted to try intermittent fasting again is I really wanted to see if intermittent fasting assists you in staying in a caloric deficit. If intermittent fasting really makes it easier for you to stay in a caloric deficit because of the smaller eating window. I want to see and make sure I do not get insane urges to eat excessive amounts during the eating window. I have to say I've used intermittent fasting successfully in the past to make weight for competition. However, it's been some time and I really want to recap and see how it really feels to be back on intermittent fasting.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall.
Okay. For days 2 and 3, I ate rather freely. Alright guys, so I decided I'm gonna cut out all my feelings and thoughts for the whole intermittent fasting thing and just cut straight to the results. So
Huh?
So, I didn't lose any weight and I even gained some. Does this mean intermittent fasting doesn't work? Well, not really. Before you guys continue watching, I highly recommend you guys click on this video where I actually discuss what intermittent fasting is and how it actually works. Now, let me explain why I did not lose any weight. So first, let's look at my horrible diet. It was literally me eating whatever I want. The foods were high in carbs and high in sodium. Carbs and sodium is not bad for you guys. However, what does this mean? This would mean it will lead to higher water retention, as sodium and carbs, the more sodium and carbs you eat, it causes more water retention in your body, which results in, of course, a higher weight. The second possible thing that happened was I actually said I was in a caloric deficit. However, it is very possible that I was not in a caloric deficit and I calculated it wrongly. This is because I ate out. So who knows what they might have put into the food. They might have used some really high calorie oils, really high calorie ingredients, and I wouldn't know, because I would count it as fries, you know. I would say maybe fries has 500 calories. Who knows, their fries might have 1,000. So I might be calculating it wrongly and could have caused the weight gain as well. However, I really doubt that was true, and I really do believe I'm in a caloric deficit. Simply put, if I was in a caloric deficit, why did my weight not go down? Just because my weight did not go down, it doesn't mean I did not lose any fats. Yes, I understand what you guys are getting. This guy's full of shit. Let me explain myself. Simply put, it takes time for fat loss to be reflected on the weighing scale. So a period of 5 days could not be enough. There has not been a period of time that is determined that it takes for fat loss to be reflected on the weighing scale. That being said, Oftentimes, people see a huge amount of weight being lost through intermittent fasting, and even for myself, if you guys went back to see the Whole Foods video, I actually lost 1.5 kilos in just 3 days. Is this body fat? Nah guys, no. The problem is, initial weight loss is often just water weight. The weight loss on the scale isn't truly fat loss. This is particularly true if you're reducing carbohydrates and sodium from your original diet. Most of the time, the cutting of carbs and highly processed foods, aka sodium dense foods, will lead to water weight loss. This is the initial weight loss you actually see on the scale when you first start on a fat diet or any funny ass diet you do. So in the case of me, I actually ate even more processed foods as compared to my ordinary diets, where I really eat a lot more fruits, vegetables, low calorie dense foods. So instead of reducing carbs and salt, I actually increased my salt intake. Carbs, however, I would say is very similar and only maybe slightly higher. Of course, if I did reduce carbs and salt, I feel I would definitely have lost a lot more water weight and the scale weight would have dropped significantly more. So the big question is, does intermittent fasting work? In my opinion, yes, to a certain extent it works. I feel it's easy to stay in a caloric deficit while having a fixed eating window. However, eating low calorie dense foods is definitely going to make you feel much better. In my opinion, if you do eat low calorie dense foods, you're going to feel fuller and will not rely on so much mental strength to power through your fasting window and have to always constantly wait more and more for that eating window to open. In order for this diet to be effective, you're gonna make sure that when you're in your eating window, you do not binge eat, you do not eat excessively as compared to your usual diet. For example, for me, I really only ate 2 to 3 meals, and maybe more so 2 meals and 1 snack in the afternoon. I'll have 1 snack, and when I break my fast and before I start my next fast, I'll have a normal meal. So for that, I actually kept my calories low. Why I say this was pretty effective, as I would say if I do eat intuitively like I do on a usual basis, I would have definitely eaten way more, as I was feeling way hungry way after my eating window closed. So because of this eating window situation, I actually forced myself and used my mental strength and ability to force myself to not eat more and snack more later in the day, and this would result in lesser calories being consumed, as I was eating very dense, calorie dense foods, very unhealthy foods, and despite feeling shitty and forcing myself, of course I'm still eating lesser calories, which will still lead to weight loss. But however, that is not very sustainable in my opinion. In my opinion, to make it sustainable, you're gonna have to feel good on your diet. You're gonna have to eat those low calorie dense foods to keep yourself full and not rely on so much on mental ability and mental strength to power through your diet. If you're relying so much on mental strength and mental ability, no matter how mentally strong you are, one day eventually you're gonna give up and you're gonna gain the weight back. So I want to add, for some reason, people don't just put the fork down, you know, like Greg always say put the fork down, and I believe that is a very good saying, but for some reason people tend to react better when they have to follow these kind of stringent and fixed diet plans and eating patterns. If I just say don't snack, stop snacking, cut out your sugars, maybe eat it in moderation, people can't do it. People might be as addicted to sugar. I also for some reason when I'm forced and have to follow this stringent diet of eating for 8 hours and not eating for 16 hours, for some reason it works. Honestly, I don't really know the science behind that. I feel it's more of a mental thing, and people tend to react better in these kinds of diets and situations. So yeah, in my opinion, intermittent fasting works if you are eating in a caloric deficit, and it does help you stay in the caloric deficit. Of course, your food choices are very important when you're on intermittent fasting, and for me personally, I was eating in between my workouts and I did not face a situation where I worked out consecutively without eating. And for some reason, creatine actually did not touch my weight much at all. But I would give you guys an update. I'm actually going to try intermittent fasting again and possibly eat better. Well, if I do not eat better, there won't be any video. So yeah, you guys will know from that. And thank you guys for watching. This is my experience with intermittent fasting. I didn't lose any weight. I gained 0.3 kilos. I ate whatever the hell I wanted. So yeah, and this is what happened.